Hey y'all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon, this is my review channel. Today I'm talking about Martin Scorsese's 1999 drama, Bringing Out the Dead. Before I dive into that though, I do want to say if you enjoy my content, please give this video a like, it really helps out the channel. And we are a couple weeks into the Summer of Nic Cage. I still have a couple more weeks of this I'm going through. Gonna be doing a daily release of Nic Cage review. But yeah, if you want to be notified of that content, go ahead and subscribe. And if you actually want to get a notification, hit the little bell in the corner as well. But yeah, Bring Out the Dead. This is a film I've only seen twice now. And gotta say, this is probably one of the more impressive Martin Scorsese films. It's not my favorite of his, but I want to say it's probably one of his better ones. It's not anywhere near what Goodfellas is, or Departed, or Wolf of Wall Street. It's nothing like that. It's not fun like that. This is a Paul Schrader script, so this is, I think, their third collaboration. They also did Taxi Driver and Raging Bull together. And this is much closer to those. This is a character study. This is a dark character study. This is a very well, I don't want to say depressing film, but it stays in the dark a lot. And your main lead, Frank, played by Nick Cage, he's a truly tortured soul. Basic plot is he's a paramedic. He's battling this really serious case of insomnia and a lot of guilt and everything. Basically, he's been on a long string of nights where he's not saved anyone. Every single person that they deal with dies. And yeah, it's really getting to him. He's starting to see ghosts. Can't sleep, and he's seeing this one specific girl that he was unable to save all over the place. And it's his story over the course of 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And yeah, just kind of what his life is over these course of these couple of days. And this is a film I know a lot of people have not seen, so I'm just going to kind of give a broad overview. I'm going to talk about a few things. I will talk about a few things in the spoilers, but not much. This is a film you want to go into not knowing much and just experience it. But each different day, though, he does have a different partner. First night is John Goodman, who's kind of embraced this lifestyle. It is what it is. He's married. He's the provider for the family. Most of the money goes to that. Really, he enjoys the little things. So every night, he's looking forward to what he's gonna eat, and that's kind of his thing. You also have Ving Rhames, who's kind of turned to religion, sort of, but he gives an insane performance in this. Probably my favorite Ving Rhames performance. It just goes off the chain. And then Tom Sizemore is the final night's driver. He's very aggressive. He's kind of turned all of these things back on the city, and he goes out and kind of seeks vigilante justice to kind of do his part in his eyes to make things right. And each one of these characters is a reflection of Frank. Each one is like a different scenario of, if this doesn't change for Frank, this is where he's headed up. And yeah, one night he does save a man. Man was dead for like 10 minutes. Bring him back. It's comatose. He's a lot of damage to the brain from that, but he was able to save him. and he's not quite sure if he should be glad that he saved him. But Patricia Arquette plays this man's daughter. Her and Nic Cage kind of have this fascination with one another. I don't want to say that it's a romance, because it's really not. They just kind of help each other out in this bad time for one another. And she's kind of fixed up her life, but because of all this stress and everything, she's relapsed. She starts taking drugs. He's trying to help her, but he starts kind of messing with the stuff as well. And you just get this really interesting character study over the course of these 3 days. And it's truly unlike anything that you've seen before. If I had to compare it to films, I would throw it in that category with Raging Bull and Taxi Driver. It is something of that style, but where those are stories of a man kind of letting the worst get to him, this is much more hopeful. This is much more positive. It's still bleak as all fuck, but there's a little glimmer of hope. But yeah, fantastic acting performances all around. You've got Nic Cage, Patricia Arquette, John Goodman, Ving Rhames, Tom Sizemore, and probably one of the more impressive performances was Mark Anthony. I didn't even recognize him in the role. Like, I recognized that it was him, but he was so into character that never once did I see Mark Anthony. I just saw the character. This is kind of Scorsese going back to that, not kind of, it is, him going back to that, just dirty, grimy, evil-looking New York. That's the New York that this story takes place in. This is very fitting with his 70s and 80s films. This would not be out of place. And but he shoots it in such a weird way. Most of the colors are bleached out. He's got the reds and are like extremely heightened, and they almost have a lens flare effect. Like, there's some really, really cool cinematography that they do, and just that mixed with the casting and the writing and the crazy events and situations that happen over the course of these 3 days is just it's so good. So good. I think that I'm gonna I think I'm gonna call it here. So yeah, this is gonna wrap up my non-spoiler side of things. I don't have too much on the spoiler side, and they're not that serious, but they're more of just things for those that have seen this movie, but haven't seen it in a long time, or specific moments I want to talk about. But yeah, all in all, like, highly fucking recommend this movie. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. It's not perfect, but I love that it's not perfect. Its imperfections are what really set it apart from everything else. I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10. It's very close to being a 10 out of 10, but there is some slight pacing issues. But yeah. And oh shit, the fucking biggest thing. The thing I was most impressed about. That's right. I don't know how the fuck I didn't talk about this. The story is just so fucking good and the performances are, but no, most impressive thing about this is this truly feels like this is just one character's story. And whenever you go into New York, wherever you go into a location, there's a bunch of people and the pedestrians and the people, onlookers, rubberneckers, whatever you want to call them. Those people are all around, but they're all fleshed out. It doesn't matter if they pop back into the movie, if they're on screen for a couple seconds, or if they're on screen for a couple minutes. They all feel distinct. They all feel unique, and they all feel real. And you get this. You start wondering while watching the movie what these other characters' stories are like, and it's something that, like, we're seeing Frank's story, but I'm curious what the doctor's story is, or what this character's story is, or the security guard's story is. I want to see their stories all as well. The other drivers, I want to see them. Like, everybody is so unique and so interesting that you can make an entire movie out of them. And also with the everything's moving. Like, there's always cars in motion behind them. Like, nothing ever stops. And there's a lot of times where they're in the emergency room, and oh man, it's just constant, just characters moving around, new people being brought in, and it's really, really impressive. Closest thing I can compare that to kind of give you an idea is Birdman. Just that crazy hustle and bustle of that backstage life and everything. That's kind of what this is. But yeah, goddamn, really, really good movie. And just great on all fronts: storytelling, acting, cinematography, directing, just everything. Impact that you're gonna have watching it. It's and this is not a film that you should be like, oh, I gotta be in the right mood to watch this, or I better make sure I'm happy when I toss this on. Like, no, it's just a solid fucking movie. See it. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up my non-spoiler side of this. For those of you that have seen this, which sadly is not too many, because I know this film has kind of gained a cult following over the years, but still, not a lot of people have seen this movie. I know this is one of Scorsese's few flops, but yeah, for those, or those that don't really care, I still highly recommend you see this movie. There's a couple scenes I want to talk about. So I think they're both Ving Rhames scenes, actually, but yeah. So there's this scene. Fucking Ving Rhames, he's so good in this. But there's this scene where they go. There's this guy. There's an OD at a nightclub, and they get there. It's one of the band members, and he's been snorting this. I think they call it Red Death. It's this like heroin and other shit mixed up. And it's basically just killing people. So they're just like, oh shit, he's dead. Ving Rhames starts going into it, kind of playing the bad cop kind of character, and then Cage starts messing with the body, realizes he's not dead, lets Ving Rhames know. Ving Rhames starts turning it into this religious speech about how we can pray over him, and he makes this big old scene of it. Meanwhile, Nic Cage is doing the other side of things, giving him the meds and everything to make him wake up, but he starts trying to pray over the body, and it's just like, what's his name? And one of the guys is just like, I be banging. What kind of fucking name is that? It's just like, I don't know his real name. It's just I be banging. And then the girlfriend pipes in. She's like, it's Frederick. And he's just like, all right, Freddie. And she's like, no, it's Frederick. All right, I be banging. And that's all he starts calling him for the rest of the prayer. And he's this big, loud performance that he's giving as the drugs are kicking in, and all of a sudden he's just and everybody's just like, oh shit. It's a really funny scene. And then after that, Nick Cage and him are back in the car, and or the ambulance, and they're heading back. Frank's just trying to call it for the night. He's just like, dude, we've been through enough. Like, that was fine. Let's not take any more calls. And a call comes through. Ving Rhames accepts it, just starts speeding, kind of going crazy. Car comes out in front of him. He swerves. Car flips, rolls, and it's just crazy intense, like, shot. Because you see the fucking paramedic roll and everything in the crash. Like, it's really fucking cool stunt. But, yeah, and then at that point, Nick Cage is just like, that's it. He leaves. And next day, he comes in late. He's trying to get his boss to fire him. His boss is just like, I'll fire you tomorrow, I promise. And he keeps saying that throughout the film. It's so fucking good. And that's one thing that, like, I really enjoy about this film, is that it goes from super dark comedy to crazy intense psychological drama. And there's no warning. It just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Each play into one another really well. But I can understand that just, like, general audiences just kind of going into this, just being like, oh, let's go see the new Scorsese film. I really like Goodfellas. Getting this. Yeah, I can understand why. Actually, I don't even think that the people were giving it bad reviews, just nobody was going to see it. So I think probably just mismarketed, and I don't know. But fucking great movie. Just solid fucking movie. What was your favorite part? If you stuck around through this, I hope that you've seen this. What was your favorite fucking scene? For me, it's the IV banging, and then followed up by the ambulance crash. But yeah, what was your favorite scene? Let me know down in the comments. But that's gonna wrap this up. If you know of any other movies like this that are not Joker, are not Taxi Driver, and are not King of Comedy or Raging Bull, let me know what they are, please. I really like these styles of movies. I just don't. They're non-Scorsese films, basically. Non-Scorsese or non-Scorsese inspired films like this, please let me know down in the comments as well. Really like to see more of these. But, yeah, got a couple more, or so, not a couple more. I got about 15, I want to say, more Nick Cage movies coming out. So, a couple more weeks of this, and then we are going to be done with this, and I'm so happy. It'd be nice to not see a Nick Cage movie every day. But, yeah, that's going to wrap this up. I am actually calling it here. I don't know what I'm going to be watching next, but I really don't think it can be worse than Zandali or G-Force. I think I'm through the worst. So, I'm excited. I know I still got some good ones in the mix, and I've got some bad ones, so try to space them out decently. But, yeah, catch you all next time, and hope you stay safe. Bye, y'all.